This episode of the Great Lakes Outdoors podcast is brought to you by
Migrate Ammunition, GK Calls, Gibraltar Boatyard, Point Malay Waterfowl Festival, Gibraltar Duck Hunters Association, Turtle Box. We'd like to give a special thanks to Brian Ellithorpe. Give him a follow on all social media.
We appreciate all the support. Now let's get to the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Great Lakes Outdoors podcast. Chris and I are sitting here. Chris, what's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot.
It's a little bit better in this room.
Yeah, it is.
It's getting cooler out. I think up here in Michigan, I think this week anyway, we're recording this, I don't know, late July, I should say.
Yeah.
And the nights are getting down to about 58, 59 degrees.
It's getting cool in that morning.
Yes. It's got me thinking about early season. And I do not mean to rub that into our guest that's in the southern states. We got Ryan from Pattern Pros, man. What's going on? And like I said, I don't mean to rub in the temperature on you, but I just had to say that out loud.
I felt that deep in my soul. Say the heat index, it was like 109 or something like that. So
No, thanks.
I don't think we're sniffing the 50s for a while.
We had did you guys even get that low?
We actually got set like 5 inches of snow this year.
Really?
Back in January, I think. Yeah.
Holy
so that's a rare occurrence here. But usually around January, like early January, Christmas time, we'll get some days where it's like in the 20s. So nothing too cold, but definitely pretty chilly though. Obviously nothing quite like what you guys get.
It's been, this summer's not been too bad. I think we had about 2 weeks with it, close to the hundreds, and that's about it. Other than that, I mean, you can get away at night with some hoodies on. I mean, well, long sleeves for sure, obviously. But last, I don't know, 2 winters and the past 2 summers, I'd say we've been very fortunate up here for heat and cold.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't mind at all, obviously.
Well, we haven't got a whole lot of snow either.
No, I do want the snow.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, Ryan, I appreciate you being here, man. Do you want to kind of just tell everybody what Pattern Pros is and then where you're from and just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So Pattern Pros was started by me and 2 of my buddies from the Marine Corps. We were all stationed together in Camp Pendleton, California, so just north of San Diego. We hunted and fished and hunted everything we possibly could out there. And but I'm originally from just outside of Seattle, and I haven't lived there since 2010. Played college baseball. My last year's ball was a school in Ohio. So that's actually where I enlisted out of. So I went to Parris Island, which is not a great time. And I was there at this time of the year, so really hot. But I actually met my wife when I graduated, and so then kind of went from there to got stationed in Hawaii, and then from Hawaii after a few years to California. So kind of been all over the place. I tried to move the wife to Montana when we were getting out, and that idea lasted for about 2 weeks, and then she was like, no, that's
not for me.
You guys like that heat.
So I was like, well, that kind of crushed every hope and dream I had.
Yeah. That's
so,
your own Yellowstone show coming out featuring you and your wife.
Yeah.
That's what school did you play ball at?
They were all small schools. My freshman year in school, I went to a school in Texas. Where Friday Night Lights is at, Midland.
Yeah.
Midland, Texas, and then had to have shoulder surgery after my freshman year, so I went back to a school in Washington, another junior college, redshirted, played a year, and then another small school in Ohio. So,
what school was that, if you don't mind?
In Ohio?
Yeah,
Shawnee State University.
I've heard of that.
It's a small, crappy little town right on the Ohio River.
Okay, so you're south. You're way south.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if you like to hunt and fish, it was an awesome place.
Right.
So that was great. If I wasn't playing ball, I was roommate and I were either deer hunting, duck hunting, turkey hunting, squirrel. I mean, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then summertime we were either catfishing or bass fishing.
That's a good place for it. That's for sure. That's what we're so fortunate up here, man. Like with the Detroit River right in our backyard, like being able to walleye fish in the springtime, turkey hunting, bass fishing all summer long if you want it. I mean, people don't realize how good we have it here, and they always want to get out of this little small town, but it's like, why, man? Everything you need is right here. It's just, I don't know, it's crazy. Very fortunate.
Yeah, I do. I mean, we're in a small town, but it's hard about South Carolina is most of the land is private. So I'm fortunate enough to where my wife's family is from here. So I'm able to hunt some family land, which is really nice. But
that's good then.
Yeah.
What kind of got you guys started with the Pattern Pros? What kind of made you guys think of the idea? And I guess what is Pattern Pros for everybody that doesn't know?
So it's been almost, I want to say, as October of 22. My other buddy called me and was frustrated. He bought a new shotgun and was like, dude, I got this new gun. I bought a couple different box shells. I went and patterned them, and he's like, they sucked. He goes, I'm not taking those hunting. So it's kind of like, well, now that you've shot those, like, what are you going to do with those boxes? They're either going to collect dust. You know, you probably can't sell them. You can give them away to a buddy. So it was like, well, let's do something about this, and started kind of going back and forth. And it was like, well, what if we put more than one kind of shell in a single box? And he was raised duck hunting. Like that's what he did. Like since he could walk. And he's like, I don't think there's anything like it. So we talked to the friends and family, and I called him the next day. I was like, dude, let's freaking do this. So what we came up with for waterfowl was 8 different shells with 3 of each shell, giving you 24 shells in a single box. So allowing you to actually try out a bunch of different shells all at one time, actually find the best patterning shell for your setup, and not have to spend a ton of money. And with the amount of different gun, choke, shell combinations, it's almost limitless. And it's crazy that so many people unfortunately think that a shotgun just spews BBs, and that's what it is. Like they're all pretty much the same. Don't buy good shells, just buy the cheapest stuff you can. And so some of it is kind of frustrating. So our goal is to really start to change people's minds as much as possible. Some people are forever going to be stuck in their ways.
Right.
But it really will open your eyes once you start to put shells on paper and see what's actually happening, even at that 20-yard distance, which duck hunters will, like, you get them at 20, you kill them. Like, that is what you're going for. And I've seen some patterns at 20 yards that are absolutely just trash. And you're like, you're not killing anything like that. Like, that happened to my business partner a couple years ago, where he was here and we were getting ready to go to Arkansas, and he got a Winchester SX 420 gauge. And it came like the stock modified choke, and went and shot it. And it was like 6 or 7. He went through, like, I think it was like 6 shells, all different shells. And we were at 20, 25 yards, and they were all awful. I mean, like, you're not killing anything. It was so bad that I was like, dude, you're not hunting with that. Like, that's just go ahead and stop shooting or wasting ammo. I was like, and we didn't, by the time we got done shooting, everything around us was closed. So he couldn't go to get a choke. We were hunting close to the house the next day. So I was like, hey, just take my other shotgun. So he went and got new choke, and it was like everything was great after that. But I was like, that just goes to show you right there. That proves our point, where if you're not putting it on paper, you're really doing yourself, the duck, everyone else around you, an injustice. So yeah, that's I kind of feel like I went on a little tangent there, but
that's good.
That's perfect. Yeah,
it's. I mean, unfortunately, I'm kind of that person that obviously now with like the whole like Migra and we're shooting them consistently. And I honestly, I could say that the Migra turkey load is the only shell that I've put on paper. It's kind of ignorant to say, but I've almost been like, well, I'll figure out the shell as I shoot kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like if I, because I shoot a Benelli, so everybody says it's, shooting low or whatever, shooting high, whatever it does.
Yeah.
And I just kind of taught myself. I don't know. I just kind of like after pigeon hunting and I use it for a couple of years for turkey hunting and waterfowl hunting all year long. It's just kind of one of those things that it grew on me, like the pattern wise. And I never shot anything on paper. I mean, besides like slugs and stuff, but I mean, that's a little bit different, obviously. I mean, for what you guys are doing, it's pretty genius. Like to give somebody that opportunity to shoot a bunch of shells and have them see it.
Yeah, it seriously, like, I've had people be like I did it with my wife's cousin last year, where we went and shot a box, and he was like, this shell, you're like, oh, I always loved that shell. And that was like, even at like as soon as he shot it at the 20-yard mark, it was like, well, that one sucks. He goes, I don't, I'm like, did you change anything? He's like, no, it's been the same gun and choke. And I was like, well, clearly that one sucks. So you've been missing, you're either an awful shot who's getting really lucky with your terrible pattern.
The one BB, that's all you need, man. The one BB.
But I was like, it was just funny to see the look on his face because he had never patterned it before. And I was like, this is really that knowledge. It's that knowledge and that little bit of a tool to put in your toolbox where it's like knowing what's actually happening. And we talk about the 20-yard mark, and you're like, all right, for the most part, most shells are going to be fine at 20 yards. And people will say, well, just get them over the decoys. I'm like, well, dude, like I've hunted with some championship duck callers, and even then they can't get them over the freaking decoys. Like sometimes it's just not a 30-yard passing shot, which just about every duck hunter is gonna take unless that bird is, looks like it's gonna swing one more time.
Right.
At 30 yards, I promise you there is large differences in the shells to the point where, a teal or a wood duck is getting completely whiffed, like that kind of size holes in your patterns. And it's kind of backwards to me where you've spent so much time and money on everything else. You've got, $100 duck call, you've got $1,000 waders, you've got $1,000 shotgun, $100 choke, $20,000 boat, thousands of dollars in decoys. But it's like, if you don't know what's truly going to happen when you go pull the trigger, it's kind of like, oh, that's the most important part. When that bird is coming in or passing by, you're like, damn, I should probably have an idea what's going on. And something that the more I've done this, the more I think about other possibilities of things that happen every single year, where it's like, hey, if you don't know your pattern at 30 yards and you've got some decent flyers, and you can only kill one more bird, or up until this year, the last few years, you can only kill one pintail. Well, it's like, hey, that one Drake Penny's coming in, but he's got a buddy that's a little off to the right, and you're like, it'll be okay.
You don't even know where your stuff's going.
How many of those are getting either bottom of the freaking decoy bag or mud stomped because somebody isn't aware of their pattern? So,
or even worse, being flying off and dying elsewhere, and you're not even recovering that bird.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
I think it adds a lot of confidence, though, too. Like when you know what your pattern is, what your shot's going to be, that adds that whole different confidence where you're going to be able to know you can do those things.
Yeah, you're like, hey, that is at 40 yards. I am shooting a steel load, but I've had a couple of shells where I'm like, I know at 40 yards, I was like, I'm solid. Like I'm without a doubt solid. Now I'm not pushing it. I don't necessarily want to take that shot all the time, but I'm like, I can. So it's exactly like knowing how far things are and actually seeing what happens when you pull the trigger. And I promise you, if you go sit down at 40 yards and like, so we actually have targets, our own targets that we sell. They're 3 foot by 3 foot brown craft paper, and it's a 1-inch black dot in the middle of that paper. That dot looks pretty damn small at 40 yards, and I have pretty darn good eyesight. That's about the only thing the Marine Corps didn't destroy. Every other joint is no longer okay. But it'll show people like, damn, like 40 yards is a long ways.
Yeah.
You learn that with turkey hunting, though, man. Turkey
Yeah.
hunting, like you're like, oh man, that turkey's close enough. You could take a pot. I mean, granted, the TSS loads nowadays is one thing, but like, you know, back in the day, like the lead shots and stuff. Not back in the day, you're still shooting lead shot, but the people that are just shooting lead still, 40 yards. I mean, yes, it is a poke, man. It is a ways out, and I can't stand when people like in the blind are like, oh man, those birds are close enough, and it's like, you know, they're pushing 40, 50 yards. I mean, that's a lot further than you think, man. Let's just kind of take a step back here and just realize that.
Yeah, and especially for the people who don't. If you've done a bunch of shooting and you really know your setup, okay, yeah, send it, dude.
Right.
But so we actually have turkey boxes that we came out with last year as well.
I've seen that.
And turkey hunters freaking love to pattern their guns. So what we came out with for turkey is 5 different shells with one of each in a box. So right now we have 12, 20, 28 gauge, and 410. And we've got several options for all of those except for 28. We just have just one option right now. So, but it's
solid point though too. Even like what you were saying about the waterfowl aspect of it all. Like you put all this money and time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears into like the setups and your guns. I mean, I'll fall victim, and I'll be the first to admit it, that you never think about your shells, man. You're spending $400 on a case or whatever you're spending on a case of shells nowadays, and you don't even think about patterning it or anything. You're just going out there and, you know, you got a bunch of birds in your field and just hoping for the best at that point. You're not worried about the most important thing that's actually going to get you birds or meat in your freezer. You know, I mean, that's a solid way of putting it.
I mean, you got up at 3 a.m. I mean,
yeah, right.
Like if you go deer hunting with rifle or your bow, you're probably going to go sight it in previous to your hunt,
right?
But yeah, it is wild to me that a lot of people who duck hunt don't do it, and so like I guarantee I'll get this answer 100 times this coming weekend at Delta. Like, hey, do you pattern your gun? You're like, yeah, like my turkey gun,
right?
What about your duck gun? And they, no, and it's why. And I think it's people are just like, well, I'm just gonna run it the plug. I got 3 shells, like, and it's like, dude, like, I want to go out there and I want to kill whatever I'm shooting at. I like to kill the first freaking shot.
Right.
But something that I've thought about more and more. Well, one, I don't know if you guys truly enjoy to chase crippled ducks and waders, but I really don't.
I don't, and I'm sure both of my dogs don't either.
So I'm like, all right, how many times have you, your buddy, your dogs been out there chasing cripples and you look up and birds are locked up? You're not.
Yeah.
As soon as you look up, they're gone.
Yeah,
it's every time.
Yeah, you're like, oh no, they're gone. And then you crouch down thinking they didn't see you, and you're like, I'm gonna give them a freaking hailstorm.
Yep.
You look like an idiot out there for the people that are driving by the field, and they're like, what the hell is that guy doing out there, just laying out there in the middle?
Yeah. So it's like, if you just, a lot, I guarantee, I couldn't possibly tell you what percentage, but I guarantee you a lot of it is that guy hasn't patterned his gun, so he's not shooting optimal. So if you go out there and just shoot one time, that bird's stone cold dead, you or your dog goes and gets it, that's a heck of a lot quicker than that bird freaking diving up and down, up and down, up and down. You're like, damn, how long is that going to freaking take? And then the other aspect of it is you shooting, once, twice, three times, whatever it is, that birds continue to pop set up, and you're trying to put more BBs in them. And now your little area of the field, the swamp, wherever, the lake, river, whatever it is that much louder.
Mhm.
So now you're scaring away potential other ducks, whereas it's that one or two bangs and you're back to quiet. So you are screwing up your potential, your next potential shot, without having to just go do an hour's work in the off season. So it's like, just go do that. It's fun. It's really interesting. It doesn't take that much time.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
But it just, the more I think about it, I'm like, so many issues can be solved if you just go out there with the most efficient thing possible. And so, you kind of see you got a dog. So and especially, I guess, for the guys in the cold, this kind of sucks, but I guarantee you every year duck dogs unfortunately die. And a lot of it is sometimes in that cold weather, if they're getting absolutely exhausted going after a bird that continues to dive in that freaking icy water, and those dogs have no freaking quit, especially if they're too far away and can't hear you.
Yes.
They exhaust themselves, and that's it.
I hate even thinking about that. That's one thing.
I'm
Like,
a dog person.
Yes.
I love dogs more than people. So that crushes me to think about it. But I'm like, how many times does that happen? Not very often, but I guarantee you it happens every single year.
Yep.
And it kind of leads into something too, where you might not have thought about it this way, but you always hear from guys that nobody's shooting over my dog besides me, right? If a cripple gets up and flies, I'm shooting, and that's it. Well, if you don't know what your pattern even is at a certain distance, I mean, what?
That could really screw a lot of things up right there.
Like I said before, it takes that one BB, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's all it takes, man. I mean, I don't care how confident you feel, but if you truly don't know what that pattern does at a certain distance, I mean, it could be lethal, man.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, that's a whole different thing too.
That's something you are like that. I don't care who you are. You're not shaking that off. That is going to be in your head every hunt forever.
Yes.
Yeah. But so, to a less morbid side of things, so something that we're trying to get going now is on the guide and outfitter side of it. So guides and outfitters, I know a lot of them, they're all, they buy a pallet or two, however many freaking cases of shells before the season, and all the guides shoot the same shell.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are running the same gun, same choke. Like I talked to a guy last week. He's like, yeah, all of us guides, we're all shooting the exact same setup. And I'm like, all right, well, wouldn't it make sense for you to try this out and spend the $60, actually find something that's going to work the best for all of you before you go spend $10,000 on shells?
Especially the outfitters that have the guns and ammo for the clients already there.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're missing, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point.
So now, not only are your guides going to kill more birds, but now, like you said, if they've got the rental guns and ammo for their clients, now their clients, they may suck at shooting. There's only one fix to that. Go practice, but you are going to have them shooting the is the most optimal way you possibly can, is that if that shell gun choke combination is working in harmony like it should. So it's like, now they're going to be more happy because they had a shell that freaking worked, and it wasn't just, hey, this is the best shell because it was the best deal that I could get. No clue how it actually worked with our setup. It could be absolute trash. And it's like, well, now your clients are going to be happy. You got a better picture to post on freaking Facebook and Instagram. Your clients more likely to come back because he shot a box of shells, but he came back to the lodge with a freaking limit, whereas he shot 50 freaking times and killed one bird.
Right.
And sailed 3 others and that you guys never found.
I mean, it's kind of an ignorant question. How much does a choke tube compared to an actual gun make a difference for a shell?
Dude, honestly, like that's like the mad scientist stuff that I just haven't like dove into. I honestly I don't know. Like I've seen. I have a Remington 870. That's my turkey gun.
Mm-hmm.
I got like a Carlson's choke in there. I think like the choke was $40. So
Mhm.
like, nothing fancy out of either one of those, and it shoots phenomenal patterns. But dude, I don't know. So I honestly I couldn't tell you, but there's obviously something about one of those that sometimes they don't freaking like it. Or I've talked with gun companies, I've talked with choke tube companies, and they're like, we don't, and shell companies like, hey, we don't like this shell, or we don't like this choke tube for whatever reason. There's some kind of component that doesn't work well together. So something new that I'm hoping to launch within the next month is actually a choke tube pack.
Oh, that'd be one of
sweet.
my questions actually, because
Yeah.
that is huge in general.
So, and I see it. Unfortunately, I spend a freaking ton of time on Facebook, and it is all of these groups, and it's always the, hey, what gun shell combination is best, and then you see 50 freaking different answers.
Right.
And even then, between gun to gun, and like they could be in the same kind of setup, and for whatever reason, that shell just doesn't work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is it's going to be a 3 choke pack. They're all going to be the same constriction, and you'll pay. Essentially, you're going to be renting this choke tube. So we'll send them the pack. They got 3 choke tubes. There'll be a certain amount of time that they have to send it back. So we'll give you a week. Once you get it, we'll give you a week to shoot it.
Is there like a fine?
Okay. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, hey, there'll be some kind of hold. Christian, my business partner, he's the finance guy. I'm the guy who comes up with all crazy ideas that frickin' drives him insane.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, come on. And I'm like, yeah, we can do it. We can do it.
Yeah.
Just trust.
Yeah. Like literally one of the times I like wrote out how we were going to make money on it after an hour argument back and forth on the phone. And I was like, I'm going to get home. I'm going to put this crap on paper. I'm going to send it to you. And sure enough, I did. I was like, that's how we make money. So yeah, 3 choke tubes. We'll send them to you. You'll have a certain amount of time. Obviously, if you don't send them back to us, there's, you're buying all of them.
Right.
So they'll shoot those 3, and then whatever one they like best, they'll buy that from us. They'll send us back the other 2, and then we'll obviously replace that one. And my kind of thinking is, after if a specific choke tube makes it through 10 customers, we will then go ahead and resell, just flat out sell those choke tubes, obviously at a slightly discounted rate.
Yeah.
Right.
And not because, let's be honest, choke tubes for the most part, unless you're shooting cases and cases out of them every single year, they're going to last just a
Right.
very long time. But I'm like, all right, let's just mitigate any other stupid stuff. So after roughly 10 people, we'll go ahead and move on with it. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some more difficulties because it's not as cut and dry as here's the box, shoot it. There's going to be the back and forth, but yeah. So I've already talked with a handful of choke tube companies about it, and just hasn't been put in motion yet. But I'm hoping leaving the Delta show that is something that is getting ready to happen. We're also building a new website, so that is something that I'm kind of waiting on as well.
I mean, Delta's gonna be the perfect spot to talk to those companies too, with how many people are there.
Yeah, yeah. But I've already Jimmy Muller and I have talked about it several times. We've talked about it several times, and we finally met at the Maryland Waterfowl Show last year. But we've talked several times about it, so I know he's all about it. And I can't remember who else I've talked. I know I've talked to Carlson's, TrueLock, a handful of others. I believe Rob Roberts is going to be at the Delta show, and I talked with him last year briefly, and at NWTF. So I'm really hoping we can kind of get that launched, because it's, like I said, it's the same thing where people are always asking about choke tubes. Hey, how does this work with this gun? And then I see it where people are selling choke tubes. I'm like, well, I guess the only reason you're selling that choke tube is it obviously didn't perform as well as something else.
Right. Right.
And you're immediately at a loss.
That's is there, and maybe you haven't looked at it too much. Is there that much of a difference? Like, have you gone through certain shells multiple times with different choke tubes? Like, you personally, like, have you gone through, just Winchester, Myra, Apex, like with the same one, and then switched it out and did those 3 shell companies again? I mean, is there a big change in that, or have you not really?
I haven't done a ton of different choke tubes myself. I've messed with it a little bit, and there's definitely a difference. Like I said, that 20-yard mark, there can be big differences. But at that 30-yard, it is like you get to that 30 and you start to see that pattern absolutely just fall apart. So, and then you change that choke, like Christian with a few years ago, like when we changed that choke tube, it was night and day, because it was seriously so bad that I kept those targets.
Wow.
I was like, I'm going to show people, like, we had those. I think I still got 1 or 2 of them, and had those taped up the show last year, because I was like, do you want your pattern to look like this? Like, well, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I was like, that's awful. Like, you're not killing anything, and if you do, it's completely by chance. But it's, me personally, I'd mess with it more with kind of messed around with a full choke tube last year before we went to Arkansas, and knew we were going to be doing some goose hunting in the afternoons. So I started to mess around with that, and it was that obviously, same kind of choke tube, but different constriction. And I was like, all right, hey boys, 40 yards, like, you better watch out, because
right,
you're getting smoked.
That's super convenient, though. Super convenient for the consumer, because like when you go out and you're testing out, you get a choke tube, right? You almost got to stick with that choke tube unless you don't really like it, and then you got to buy another one. You're allowing people to test them out and give back, find out which works for them, their gun, the ammo they're going to decide. That's huge.
Yeah, 100%. Is there a big change, say, in shot size, like from 2 3/4 to 3.5 inch, but the same shot size? I think I said that a little wonky, but is there a big change in that?
So we only have for waterfowl, we're only doing the 3-inch shells. Obviously, eventually, we are going to have every shell length, every shot size. A lot of people say a 2 3/4 inch shell pattern is better than a 3.5 inch shell, but then the 3.5 inch shell, well, you're getting this many more BBs.
Right.
It still, there's just no right answer to it, because I've seen phenomenal patterns out of each, 2 3/4, 3 and 3.5 inch, and I've seen god awful patterns out of all of them. So it's like it seriously just goes to show that the amount of like combinations that for whatever reason some of them just freaking hate each other.
Yeah.
It's so hard to be definitive, where you just don't truly know until you go pull that trigger. But it, dude, I hate to like just give you that answer. You're
No,
like
I mean
looking for
that's
like, yeah, what's the right answer? And you're like, dude, I don't know. Like,
like you said, it's a science, man. Honestly, I
Yeah.
mean, there's so much that goes into that with how tight everything is, um, and there's some guys that, like you said in the beginning, where you just can't get them to change their mind. I mean,
Yeah.
the 3.5-inch guys, it's like, why don't you shoot? I mean, them asking us, what, you know, why I don't shoot 4-inch, because they don't make them. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, they got their ways and they're set with it. You know,
yeah,
it's just, I don't know. It's a fascinating thing to think about how much a gun itself or a choke tube, whether it's modified or improved or full choke or whatever it may be, how much of a difference. Like for me, I shoot a Rob Roberts T2, I think it is, out of my Super Black Eagle, and I love it, but I haven't shot it on paper. I mean, I'm confident with it, but I guess how confident am I when I don't have nothing to
I think
show?
we got to do that this year.
Yeah, I mean, even with my 410, I bought a 410 for turkey season this year, and it was just, what is it, a Stevens?
Stevens, yeah.
And just the choke tube that came with it, the Migra shells, like it honestly blew my mind just how tight that pattern was at 30 yards and how many BBs were inside the
Plate size, whatever.
Yeah, it was insane. But
I think the 410 and the turkey side of it, I think that's the coolest thing that is really around, simply for the fact that it gives kids a real freaking chance. Like like you said, you're shooting a 410 as a grown man, and you go out there at 40 yards and like be nasty. I mean, like have no issues really about taking the turkey's head off.
it's sickening, dude. What a 410 could do to a turkey.
It is. Oh yeah, like a couple years ago, I had to have hernia surgery right in the middle of turkey season, and I was carrying my daughter's 410 around, and I was like, I really don't feel outgunned right now at all. Like, I was like, it's a hell of a lot lighter than my freaking 12 gauge.
Lighter, more convenient to move around. I put a little red dot on mine for I think I paid $20 or $30 for the red dot, just something cheap to throw on there. And dude, I think we 2 or 3 turkeys this year it killed from different people, just in the state wise. But I don't know, man. It was like my turkey that I shot this past year. I shot it at 15, 20 yards per se. It was right around that range. But then when you slow down the video I took of it, you could see the pattern even like at 40 yards and how tight it was. And it was just, it was incredible out of that little gun, how much of an impact that, I mean, you could flip a Tom right on his back and not move it again. Granted, any gun can do that technically, I guess. But I don't know. It's just, if you feel weird actually when you go out there with the 410 and you're carrying it around and it's so light and it's just weird. Like this year was just weird to me. I don't know.
It really does. It feels like a toy. You're like,
yes.
Yeah.
This is nothing compared to just a handful of years ago. Guys, you're like, I'm going out there with my 12 gauge. I'm shooting freaking 3.5 inch, and that's what it's going to be. If you did anything else, people are going to look at you like you're an idiot.
Or even like, the 10 gauge. The 10 gauge people are using those even. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like I'm shooting a 410 doing the same thing. It's like you don't need that anymore, I feel like.
I don't. I watched a buddy a handful of years ago on base back in California smoke a freaking green wing at like I don't know, 10 yards with his freaking 10 gauge. I was like, that's just too much. There was nothing. There was no edible. It was like that's technically a duck still, but that was about it.
I got a buddy, if he listens to this podcast, which he usually does. I give him a hard time about shooting 10 gauges all the time, just because it's like I don't feel like you need to shoot a 10 gauge anymore with the shells nowadays, and it's just because why I'm bringing him up is he did the same thing this past or the year before with I think a teal as well, and shot it, and it's like just obliterated it. And I was like, why, man?
What's the point?
Yes, it just doesn't make sense. Why you think you need that when I'm out here with a 410 just shooting drone turkeys out here? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just weird to me. I don't know. Do you guys do much 10 gauge or just all 12 gauge?
No. So for waterfowl, we have 12 and 20 gauge. We were planning on coming out with a 28 gauge this year. The only reason we didn't was the uncertainty of the bismuth world.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, with Boss announcing on, I think it was the 4th of July, that they were done with bismuth, that kind of has shaken some stuff up. So I think really in order to be pretty, like, super effective with a 28, you're more than likely shooting bismuth. Not saying you can't be effective, but you don't got a whole lot of BBs going down range.
Right.
So that was the plan this year. That's obviously on the back burner. Ideally, that comes out this time next year, but we'll see. And then, like I said, we've got 4 different options for turkey. But so like for our packs for waterfowl, so we did 6 different packs for 12 gauge and 6 different packs for 20 gauge. And pretty much every single major ammo manufacturer is in there. You'll see the cheapest shell sometimes will be throw the best pattern. I've seen that numerous times for out of people's setups. And then sometimes it's a crapshoot. So it's always fascinating to me. I always tell people to reach out and let me know what shot best. And there's never one shell that are like, this is it. It's just always like, yeah, this. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it's always fascinating to me.
That is a pretty cool thing to see, and it'd be good for your website even just to show people like this is like kind of the setups that people that have gave back or talked about, and I don't know, give them somewhat of an idea.
Yeah. It's like the more I do it, I'm like, all right, I can try and kind of, you almost try and push people in the right direction, but then I'm like, I really try and not do that, and that sounds bad, but I'm like, I don't want to push them in a certain direction and then that not end up how they want it to. The other thing, and I've told every single shell company that we work with, I was like, I will never push one shell more than the other. All I want is for people to go out there with the most effective tool that they possibly can. And
that's the best way to go about it.
All these companies will tell you that for whatever reason, their shell will get outperformed in some setup or another. Like it is going to happen. They're never going to be the best shell every single time. So we try and make it as universal as possible. So we'll have a number like 12 gauge pack 1. It'll have a number 2 box and a number 3 box. So we try and keep all the steel loads in there, number 2s, and then for we'll have number 3s. But then obviously we have Migra in there. So you got the 2s and 4 stacks, and then there's a 2 and 3 stack, and then there's also Fast Steel Plus from Kent. So they've got the 2s and 4s, and they've got 4s and 6s. Federal Ultra Steel. So we try and keep it as, like I said, as universal as possible. But it's like if the 2s and 3 box, that'll be in the number 2 box, and then the 2s and 4s will be in the number 3 box. And then so something that actually kind of surprised us was when we started this whole thing, we did a bunch of surveys and talked with people, and it was like, hey, what's your most common shot size and company and all that? Overwhelming, it appeared to be number 2s and number 3s.
Really?
All right, well, that's about right. And then the more and more people we talked to, 4s actually were a super common shot size, which really surprised me because I didn't like 4s. I didn't like it. It didn't on a big duck. It just didn't seem to have like the desired effect. But a lot of people
2s and BB,
I would have.
It seemed like it was like your go-to, like 2 and BB, 2 for your ducks, or like your mallards, and BB for for your geese.
Yeah.
So go put BB on paper, and you will really be. I've done it a few times now, and it's a little underwhelming.
Really?
Just you're not getting a whole lot of BBs. That is the thing, though. Is like if you are hitting something, it's pretty big. But I don't know. There's something. I haven't shot a ton of BB, so and that's something we haven't gotten to yet. Is having like a goose load pack necessarily, right. But the two I shot, I was like, that's just not.
That's kind of hard. Like a goose.
Maybe it was because I was used to looking at duck patterns, but
yeah, right.
Like, damn, like that's. I was like, that's not phenomenal.
I can see that.
So the other box, which became probably our most popular box, was our premium box, and that is mostly bismuth. So Kent Bismuth, Boss Warchief, which that is obviously going to be being discontinued. So I think after the show we'll be switching that out for something. But Boss is coming out with something new. I don't know what it is yet. I'm hoping to find out here soon. So that'll be interesting. But it's all pretty much all bismuth loads. We got like the Migra Timber in there, 4s and 6s for steel and bismuth, and then there's the Apex TSS steel blend. So that became super popular very quick as the more and more people shot bismuth. After talking with a handful of companies over the last week and a half, it seems like the bismuth world is still going to be around for the time being. I know Boss is going obviously in a different direction, but I'm pretty interested to see where it's going to go. Hopefully they can kind of get some things sorted out, Boss and the rest of the bismuth world, right. Because I've got a chance to shoot bismuth a few times, and it can be super effective. Mm-hmm. And people are like, well, it's more expensive, but it goes back to, well, if you only have to shoot once,
right?
Compared to 2, 3, 4 times, that starts to add up real freaking quick.
Yep.
So our buddy Brody in Oklahoma, one of the guys who started this with us, he a couple years ago switched to bismuth, and he shot. He keeps all his own stats. He is a perfectionist when it comes to waterfowling. He shot less and killed more ducks. Like shot less shells and actually killed more ducks. So it was like, that goes to show you right there that sometimes that more expensive shell or a bismuth actually is worth the money, because yeah, you're paying more up front, but that case is going to last you a whole heck of a lot longer, and you're not going to be trying to put one more BB in that freaking mallard's head as it keeps diving.
One of our sponsors would be great for that research is Hunt Proof.
Yes.
The Hunt Proof app, being able to control or like see what you shoot, how many times you shoot, just getting all that information and being able, because I do
document it.
Yeah, I do feel like that's super important to do.
Yeah.
It's already on there.
Oh, okay. Look at that then. Because I mean, that is one of the things, like, it's so important to like really be able to look at and be like, okay, am I just shooting to shoot anymore, or am I actually shooting to kill? Like, it's just one of those things where
I don't know how much is on there, but they have their pattern board on Hunt Proof.
Yeah.
So, well, I can't remember if they had their own stat keeper on there. I thought they did, but
I believe they do.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that too, but
it's one of the options. You have to go through the options. It's not right there, but you have to go through the options, and it's right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that kind of one reason like we partnered with them was we had the similar type goals where you want people to truly hone their craft, and I think a lot of people kind of got away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, 20 years ago, people, like, they knew exactly what they were doing. I just felt like they knew so much more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas people like, I saw it on YouTube, or
They don't learn from themselves.
Or it's like, Duck Dynasty ruined it for people. And I was talking to a guy the other day, where we were talking about duck hunting here in South Carolina. He grew up here, and he goes, like, I'm telling you, like, literally when Duck Dynasty came out that next year, the amount of we should just take our time getting to the boat ramp, get out there, may see one other boat, but, like, you got your spot. And he goes, like, the next year, he goes, we got to the boat ramp, and it was like, what the hell is this? Like, we're a ton of people. So it was like, it became more just like the popular thing to do. So, sorry, tangent again. I got a little
because this is leading me to a tangent too. I'm waiting for it.
But it's just like, you want people to truly become waterfowlers, not, hey, I went out there and freaking duck hunted a couple times.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
just for the
hunt proof. It's like, you are going to truly start to understand why ducks and geese are in certain spots with certain weather, certain times of the year. So I think, like, I'm talking with those guys where it's like, all right, if you do it for 1 year, you may not necessarily get a ton. You'll learn, but it's like, as you start to do that year in and year out, you will, are like, I'm not going to go into that spot blind, where it's like, I've been to that spot 6 times in the last 3 years. And with this weather, this wind, this time of the year, there's freaking birds there. So it's like, everyone's had that time where you're like, dude, I didn't get a chance to go scout. Like, work was freaking crazy. Kids were crazy. And you're like, well, let's freaking send it, dude. And it's like, well, now you can do that. But you're like, all right, I looked at my stats. I've looked at last couple of years' data. You're like, hey, we got a better chance to go kill ducks here instead. That's freaking good. So
that's one thing though. Like the Duck Dynasty. This is my tangent. Just to let everybody know beforehand. You could say the Duck Dynasty ruined things, but did they? Because the numbers are going down right now as hunters. So is that a bad thing that they brought more hunters into the sport? And then, I mean, for me, it's not, because I mean, look at the numbers going down now. Yeah. So let's bring them back.
We need more people. I mean, we need more people to back everyone. It's really cutthroat right now. It's sad. It's not very welcoming at times, I think.
No, and my next point would be the people that have a platform, like both of us, all 3 of us here. It's kind of our job to kind of teach people like that, like to teach new upcomers or voice our, I don't want to say opinion, because everybody got their own opinion, but it's like to teach the new upcoming hunters the right and ethical way of going about hunting. I mean, it can be frustrating at times, but they got to learn some way or somehow. I mean, you can't just scream at them, because kids being kids, they're just going to laugh at you and ride away in their boat or whatever. You got to be able to talk to them, and they have to be able to listen as well. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of our job, I feel like.
It definitely is. And that brings up our sponsor, one of our sponsors, Gibraltar Duck Hunters Association. They run a youth hunt. It's the youth hunt for the youth weekend or whatever. Yeah. They get a bunch of kids out there. They give kids decoys, decoy bags, blind bags, duck calls, goose calls, the whole setup. It's like, I think it's like 50 kids can come out there. They obviously have to register, but you get all that stuff and then there's guides out there, not guides, but like,
mentors.
Mentors. And they're explaining, how to blow a duck call, how to blow a goose call, how to set up a spread and whatnot. I think that's huge. There's not a whole lot like that going on.
Not enough people put the time in to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, first of all, I gotta say, I love Duck Dynasty. So just make sure that that's
right.
I'm going duck hunting no matter what. Like that wasn't, oh, this is the cool thing to do. But having the youth and up and coming get taught is truly something that is extremely, extremely important. to me and Christian and our buddy Brody who helped us start this was we all have young kids, and we want there to be more ducks for our kids when they really start hunting than we ever did. So we talk about crippled ducks. So I think it was Delta put out a study number of years back, and I was like, wow, I want 1.4 million ducks are crippled every single year. I think Boss last year put out a similar number. And I'm like, all right, hey, if we could just improve that or drop that number by 10%, so 140,000 ducks going back into the breeding population every single year. Well, over 1 year, that may not necessarily do anything, but over a number of years, that's going to truly start to compound. And where every single state that you can frickin' duck hunt, duck hunters are complaining, well, bird numbers are down. And that's like, well, here's your chance to do something about it. Hone your craft. You're going to kill more ducks. You're stone dead to kill them. You're going to cripple less. So you're bringing home more, and at the same time, you are sending more ducks back north to come back the following year. So why would you not do that?
Right.
The second part of it is for the up-and-coming hunters. Like when Christian shot his gun and it was awful, it was 2 weeks after Christmas or so, and I was like, it was kind of sad to me where I was like, somebody, some kid got their first gun, or somebody who's brand new in duck hunting, if they had that same issue, nothing like it's a great gun, but if they, for whatever reason, I don't know if there was an issue with that choke tube out of the factory, whatever it was, there was obviously some kind of issue where it was not going to perform how it needed to. Somebody going out and starting hunting, hey, we're going hunting tomorrow morning. Awesome. I can't wait. Got my new gun, got a box of shells in my freaking stocking. And then they go out there and can't hit the broadside of a barn. That is going to put somebody off.
A defeat.
Now, whereas somebody who has hunted for a long time, the lack of success isn't going to drive us away from the sport, because obviously we all want to go out there and shoot stuff, but there's so much more to it than that. When you have somebody just starting out, that success most of the time ultimately drives them to continue to come back to it. Like for instance, like when I was a kid, we'd go up in the mountains in Washington, and we'd go. It was a pay leg for trout, but we always caught a bunch of trout. And I probably was going to be. I wasn't real smart when I was a little kid. I was fishing in puddles, like on the road, so I think I was going to be fishing anyways.
Yeah.
But like that kind of success was like, I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life. Like that drove me probably even more so. So having those people just starting out, including kids, have that success, it is an instant gratification. Like, holy crap, I'm doing this the next chance I get.
Right.
And over and over and over again. And it's kind of like that picture, you guys have probably seen it, where it's that like 5-year-old kid and he's smelling this like spent shotgun shells, and it's like there's no going back.
Yeah.
It's like that. That's the same kind of effect where it's like there's no going back.
I feel like for us, going back to like the ball and everything, like 3 out of 10, you bat 300, you're going to the Hall of Fame though too. So knowing that there's going to be mistakes, I mean, thinking about like, starting ball at an early age and understanding that kind of made us think that way as well from what you were just saying.
Yeah. So like I became friends with one of the game wardens on base back in California, and I took his son duck hunting quite a few times. And so watch him struggle a little bit. But I was scrolling through my phone the other day, and he killed his first 2 mallards right there in front of me. Good old water swap. We got the 2-for-1.
They're dead birds.
Oh, dude, I'll water swat. I'll be like,
yes.
Screw it, man. I'm sending it.
Yes.
And like the look on his face, it was like it was never ending. It was like that's a memory that he will have forever, and most likely will continue to duck hunt forever. because of little moments like that.
Right. And it just takes that person to just take that extra time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just, even if it's somebody at a boat ramp, just 10 minutes or whatever, just teaching them one little thing. I mean, it goes a long way for people.
Well, like Brian's turkey this year.
My sister's turkey.
Yeah,
this year.
just when you see it, when you see that hook, you can see it in their eyes. You're hooked.
Yeah.
100%.
Rapid questions for you here. What would be your go now? Just kind of going back to Pattern Pros here, not the kids stuff. Screw the kids, get away from the kid. No. For like a goose, like if you're going out goose hunting, what is your go-to shot size from what you've seen? Not shell brand, just shot size.
Like I was harping on BB earlier. Honestly, the bismuth was, I think, highly effective. And I really haven't had a chance to goose hunt, but just a couple of times, and it was there in Arkansas. We were snows and specks. I just think it is so much better bang for your buck. It's more effective. But I think a good tight pattern with 2s or 3s and being a kind of more of a master of your craft, I think is going to be a lot more effective than potentially a crappy pattern with bees.
Right.
Or people shooting BBs or freaking T.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wild. I've never even seen I've never cut open a shell that's that big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're about shooting buckshot at these things.
Yeah, it's just gonna say the same thing.
So
what about from?
I've killed a handful of geese with 3-inch 3s, but having a good pattern and shooting them in the neck and practicing,
right?
I think is far more effective. I remember the first time we killed some geese, Christian and I. And I went to go pluck them, and I was like, this has got a flak jacket on.
Yes.
And I was like, holy, this is something serious. So it's like, I think so many people you're just, you're seeing shapes and you're freaking sending it. But with a goose, their neck is a pretty good sized target.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having a good tight pattern with 2s and 3s, I'm taking that. If I can't use bismuth, I think more than likely that's probably what I'm taking, because I'll take 3 or 4 number 2s over one BB on target.
What about mallards for you?
3s.
3s.
3-inch 3s. I kind of like that happy medium. I think it just I get tighter patterns with that than I do 2s. But I don't have to worry about mallards in South Carolina, unless I were to go down to the neighborhood park, which I'd be kind of frowned upon. I'd make the news. That'd be exciting.
Yeah, you'll get the name out there. Just wear one of your guys' shirts or something. You'd be all right. Free advertisement, man.
Yeah,
you'd be all right.
But yeah, so like I said, I never liked 4s until shooting wood ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Now if I've got 4s, that's simply what I'm going with when I'm going after ways here.
Is that teal too? Would you say teal and wood ducks 4s?
I have not got a chance to go out for teal season yet. We're talking about doing it this year, going up to North Carolina for it. Probably, but I think a lot of time with teal season, it feels like you're in big open water.
Mm-hmm.
So having a little bit more oomph behind it, I'd probably still go with 3s. I don't know, dude. I feel like I've actually smoked some teal before, and it doesn't. They're crippled.
Do anything?
Yeah. Now I'm like, great. Now I'm chasing after them, and I had a season where I crippled a lot of ducks, but like or just to the point where I was chasing them, and I got in really good shape. I was like, I'm not doing that again. I was in outstanding shape. Chasing
And it still showed you up. That's go ahead.
Well, do you do any diver hunting down there?
I've done it. I got to do it a little bit last year in North Carolina. We met a guy. He took us out. I think we knocked down a couple.
Yeah.
But it was a weird day. It was like 30-mile-an-hour winds. So that was pretty rough. I've got a chance to kill some divers and like be on some diver hunts. Not necessarily here where it was like it just so happened to be there was a bunch of divers in the area.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people, I said, freaking like I killed a Drake Goldeneye. I think it was 5 years ago, and that's the toughest bird It was unbelievable. And I knew I was going to mount it, so I was like, can't freaking wring its neck.
Yeah.
Finisher, I was just like, it would not die.
Using twos when you're diver hunting?
No, I think when I went up to North Carolina, I had some bismuth.
Okay.
So I think honestly, it's this kind of the same approach in my mind as geese.
Okay.
Where, and maybe even more so, I feel like a lot of times people are hunting geese, they're hunting over a field.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, diver, I think is even more so. And I've talked with some guys, some diver and sea duck guides, and I'm like, I think it's even more important for you guys because some of those birds, like, they're
hardy.
They might be gone.
Oh yeah, yeah. They bring themselves up with some seaweed, and you're never gonna find them.
Right. Yeah, gone. Yeah, completely. Just like, and some of those guys are hunting in deep water where it's like, it's it's not, you're not like hunting in 3 foot of water. Like I could probably find him.
I mean, we're hunting 30 foot out here on the divers.
Yeah,
I mean, not me, but the guys that do go.
Yeah, diver hunting out here. You're essentially in the channel.
Yeah,
the deepest part. Well, one of the deeper parts. A lot of people do diver hunting out of layout boats out here.
I've always wanted to do that. I've seen so many videos. I'm like, dude, that is badass looking.
So where we're recording at, it's like the founding grounds, I guess you want to say. Like this is where the layout boat was actually invented. Was right here in this town.
That is awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah,
which is good but bad at the same time. I'd like to have people know about it, but at the same time, stay away.
Diver hunting.
What kind of divers do you guys shoot?
Anything really.
Yeah,
the sea ducks are coming in, old squall, bluebills, redheads, canvas.
There's a guy a couple years ago killed a harlequin. Steve, he killed a harlequin.
There's been a handful now, even scoters.
Yeah, scoters. Yeah, right out here, pretty much.
Literally 100 yards behind us right now.
A lot of bluebills, a lot of canvasbacks, a lot of redheads. Those are the main ones. Get a lot of bubbleheads.
Grebes.
Yeah.
No.
yeah.
You mean trophy ducks?
Yeah. It's so funny. Every single year you see those guys on the forums like there's like 20 of them or whatever. Yeah.
Can I shoot this?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, go ahead, man. Have fun. Have a ball with it.
Yeah, that's always, funny for us, but I'm sure they get a phone call not too long after that.
Yeah, right.
So, dude, I still actually, as much water in places as I've covered, I have never seen a canvasback.
They're a hardy bird.
Later in the year, dude, you'll see thousands of them rafted up here.
Yeah,
it's insane. Like everywhere you go on the water, it's just, they look like gnats flying around on the water. Not just all canvasbacks, but there are thousands and thousands and thousands of cans, bluebills, red. I mean, it's insane here.
If you come up here, it's like early March, you go out to the lake, you'll see thousands. You'll see them all pick up, go back down, put up your binocs. It's every single diver you can ever imagine.
So it's out of season, but that's another good, I guess, promotional standpoint. If you do shoot one in March, you'll be on the news up here too. So you wear your shirt.
Yeah, I'll be completely decked out. I may go,
yes.
maybe I'll go like the Mike Tyson
Yeah, I like it.
First tattoo, like right
Yes, that'd be
And then-
good.
here. Yeah.
You go a little
And
bit
then-
north of us right now, you probably blend right in. I mean, you probably won't even like think differently of you. Well, we're up into downtown Detroit, and you'll be set.
Well, we're talking about doing a guided hunt in Pamlico Sound, which is kind of like the premier duck hunting in North Carolina, where they get. So where the guy took us last year was right on the edge of it, and I mean we saw thousands and thousands and thousands of birds, but they were all, for whatever reason, they were way out. But he goes, it's a lot of scoters and buffleheads and bluebills and ringnecks. Not a ton of redheads or cans, but we did see a handful of black ducks. But yeah, it was. I'm hoping to do it. So it's funny where we did a lot of our hunting in Southern California. We were 3 hours southeast of San Diego, so we're essentially in Mexico.
Yeah.
And ironic because it is in the desert. Like you're like the first time you're driving in there, you're like, where the hell am I? Like it's crackheads and farmers. Like, and then on the weekends it is wild. So like the first duck I killed there was actually a Drake redhead. And then I also killed that Drake goldeneye. But it's just, you look at it, you're like, why is the sea duck way out here? It's crazy. Well, I guess there's still a diver. But on the opener, I think it was that same year, I had 2 just brown ducks that like were in our little pond, and they came through the decoys like 3 or 4 times, and I could not tell what they were. I had no clue what it was, and we were like couldn't get a great look at them. And the next week, we finally figured it out, and they were hen surf scoters.
No way.
2 of them. And I was like, I was kicking myself. I'm like, damn. Like if I had my I didn't have my binoculars.
That's tough.
I was like, yeah. And I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. That would have been really cool. I'm all about first. So like shooting a new species is always like I can't wait to freaking do it.
Right. That's one thing for you wise. Maybe we could get something set up when Canards comes up this year. You can roll up with them or something, or we can, I'll meet up here for a hunt. Spend a weekend up here shooting big geese, or go out in the lake and shoot some divers. And then one thing we haven't talked about on the podcast, or really to anybody yet, I don't know if it's going to happen this year because it's kind of being here. It's going to be here before we know it. We're going to do a so we're not a guide service by any means. We're just a bunch of buddies and family that go out there every weekend. We're weekend warriors of what we are. But we might do a veteran hunt giveaway to come up on a pond, like a rice pond, which we don't have any of that around here. Permanent blinds, and spend the weekend up here with us. The winner gets, the hunts and discount, or prizes from our other sponsors, this, that, and the other. But maybe we could set something up with that, or like I said, Canards, both you guys coming up this upcoming season, and figure something out.
Both of those, I'm like absolutely on board. Would obviously love to help out. And if it comes to shooting, when it comes to shooting stuff, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, so no, I would freaking love that.
We'll stay in touch for sure then. Yeah. Because I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy to me thinking, like, even last year we had, Mark come up. Obviously, we had Rob come up. Sean Stahl, RNT TV, RNT calls.
I know the name. I don't actually know him though.
He's big in Tangle Free. Anyway, he came out and hunted with us this past year, and it's just like, one, the company itself being able to have those people come out and want to hunt with us, and then two, just the sport alone introducing us to like new friends and just in states that we wouldn't even think about even talking to anybody in. You know, it's just it's insane what hunting can bring.
Yeah, the relationships and like the relationships are so good where it's like you meet this guy and now we talk to Drew dang near every week.
Yeah,
you know,
it's pretty cool, pretty fascinating. What
it's kind of like Step Brothers. Like, hey, do you want to go do karate in the garage? Yep.
We just become best friends.
Yep. Well, yeah, it's like, hey, you like to shoot stuff? Yeah, I like to shoot stuff.
That's what we were just doing. Me and Chris last weekend. His neighbor was moving, so we were like doing like the dress up costume, and I was burying him in the front yard and everything else, trying to not get his neighbors to sell the house.
No, it's seriously how Brody is. How Brody and I met. He was an armorer for the unit that I was an instructor at, and I said my brother-in-law had bought me my first set of decoys. And it was literally just like that moment where I said decoys, and I can still picture it. He was like coming to my right a little bit. And I see his head like turn, and he goes, "You talking about duck hunting?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I duck hunt less than a mile from right here." And he had told me, he's like, "Dude, when I got to California, he's like, I like wrote duck hunting off." He goes, I was like, "Great, I'm just not going to duck hunt for 4 years." And then for Christian, so our daughters are like almost identical ages. So it was, our kids were at like a soccer practice. I guess you could say that they were like 3 at the time. So it was like,
dandelions.
not really entertaining to watch. Pretty much a bunch of kids just huddled around one ball. But our wives started talking, and then they introduced us, and then it was like, next time we talk, we can continue to talk more about hunting, and that was 7 years ago, something like that. Maybe, right about 7 years ago, and it was like everything else was just
fell into place
because of those kind of moments,
right?
And now the other people, like you guys that I've got to talk to, and just have like a freaking blast, and then going other places and meeting other people and seeing other stuff. Like it's been so much fun, and I'm unbelievably excited for the other things that we have coming up, and other ideas that will eventually force Christian to put all right, hey, we need money to do this.
Put it on paper.
Yeah, put it on paper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally, it was like I had a piece of paper like stuck in a NWTF magazine, for whatever reason, and it was like, pull that out. It's like sat down in my freaking recliner. It was like doodled on it, and then like sent it to him like within 15 minutes of me being home. I was like, this is how we're doing it. So like, no more talking about it. Don't tell me how we're gonna make money.
If it works, man, that's all that matters.
Yeah, you gotta frame that.
Yeah, I should have. I've got other stuff that's framed. There's this website called canvasdiscount.com, and they're honestly great little things. You can get it for like $5. You upload a picture on there and put it on there. So like, Christian, unfortunately for him, is usually catching some kind of hell from us. So like, there was a time where we hunted this public pond. And it was nasty, and we thought he had killed a sea duck. It literally looked like a sea duck. It was like out in the middle. Well, he tried to swim out there, and it was like January time frame. And
it was a grebe.
No, yeah. No, it was ended up being a freaking common merganser. But this whole time, dude, it's a sea duck. It's a sea duck. Like, not messing with him, I thought it was. But I've got this picture of him coming out of the water. He didn't even make it halfway out there. And just like the sheer look on his face of just like, this is every life choice I've made has led me to here. So I usually get something like that framed for him. And then we got stuck for several hours in the mud, like pluff mud, getting the boat unstuck, like jumping in and out of the boat, pulling it alongside of us because the tide like dropped. Like it was a bad day.
Where's
I got
David
to,
Goggins when you need him?
Yeah.
Who's going to carry the
Yeah.
boat?
it was bad. Like we were like 45 minutes into opening day. He goes, dude, I think we're on dry ground. And I look back and I go, oh yeah, you're right. Well, I thought we would just kind of push it out of there. And as soon as we push and like nothing happened, I was like, oh, this is bad. Like took everything out of the boat, like the freaking the boat motor batteries, like guns, decoys, everything we had, and then literally I pulled a MacGyver move and pulled my multi-tool out with a little freaking 3-inch saw. And
Yeah.
was cutting this log that we were stuck on. I had to cut away at that, and we finally like got free, picked up the decoys, and like it was like, all right, we're good. We made it like 75 yards, and conventional wisdom was like, hey, the middle's going to be deeper. Well, that was not correct. The channel was the right off the bank was the deepest part. So then we immediately got stuck, and then spent the next 2+ hours
Oh my
absolutely
god.
just getting covered in mud. It was pretty rough.
Those are the
he hit
moments
his
that
head.
are funny, or they suck at that time, but like you look back at them, you're like, yeah, that's
Those are the memories
Yeah.
that last, though,
yes.
too.
Oh, we're like, well, we know why no one else was here.
Right, right.
I got over it a little bit faster than he did. So like I took a great selfie of me sitting on the front of the boat as we're driving out of there, and the boat is completely just covered.
Oh,
Every inch of it's covered in mud, and he's back there flipping me the bird. He's still just not, and I'm laughing at it by this point. That was a long day. We were planning on going out on the boat the next morning, but instead we just woke up like 5 minutes before shooting light and walked out behind his house to try and shoot some wood ducks, because it was like, dude, I don't have the mental capacity to go anywhere else.
right.
Yeah.
After a day like that, for sure.
So yeah, I framed, and that's hanging up. Both of those are hanging up in his house somewhere now.
Good. Make them relive that. No.
Oh, every chance I get, I'm like, oh, that was a terrible moment. Stand by. It's going to be forever immortalized in your house somewhere.
That's great. What I got two more things for you, but my last question, I guess, as a business owner or co-owner, what are some of the hardest things for you and your company that like you guys overcame, or like what you guys see? I guess like we talk about it all the time with like there's a lot of companies that just fall off because they don't want to put all the work into it. What are some things that like your hardest moments getting this thing going?
Getting started was not necessarily the idea. Like, legally we started a company like that. That wasn't hard, but it was like when I first came up with the idea, or we all came up with it. It was like, hey, screw it, we'll just put ammo in a box and people will buy it. It was like it's just how many different things you have to do, and it's the constant grind, and I think that's why so many people don't start their own business, because I've talked with plenty of people who are like, dude, I had that same idea, and it was like, well, I guess we just had a few Marines who aren't real smart, and we just decided to say to hell with it and just kept on going. It was like, we like shoot stuff. So it's really is the grind. It's just nonstop. And a lot of it is continuing to reach out to people. So it's like, and we're still small. So there's still a lot of reaching out to people and not hearing anything. So it is, you can only get told no so many times before somebody finally says yes.
Right.
So it is that constant thing of no, and then, all right, hey boys, like we can take our next step forward.
Right.
And I think the other thing was, I guess for anybody who's thinking about starting some kind of thing, is finding something that somebody else sees value in. Like for us, it was like there is nobody else that does what we do. So finding something that can truly improve either at least you and your friend group, or people in general, where it's like I see some of this stuff like you're talking about the taxidermy bags. I was
Mhm.
like, that's freaking awesome, because especially for a goose where I had it in, like, I tried to put it in like 2 different gallon Ziploc bags and then wrapped 2 or 3 freaking trash
That's
bags
tough.
around it. And I'm like, well, hopefully that's not crappy. Um, but it is that constant grind that is nonstop. So like I said, like I'm a firefighter, so I'm on 24 hours,
Mhm.
where I can do some stuff, a little bit of like phone calls or social media while I'm on shift. But then a lot of time that obviously gets interrupted.
Right.
But then I get home, and especially as we start to get into our busy season, when I get home, there's no pause. It is, hey, immediately I get home, I got a package of orders, I got to go send those out. Hey, I got to fix something on the website, or there's an issue with a customer that they're reaching out, they're asking questions. So it is that grind of every single day when you get off your 9 to 5 or shift or whatever it is, that there's something else to do. It's not, hey, I got to go home and just chill. Now, while I truly love everything that I've been exposed to so far and got a chance to do, and eventually this is what I would love to retire from the fire service to go do, it is still nonstop every single day. And if you truly want to make it, you have to continue to make those sacrifices.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work, man. It's a hell of a lot more work than I ever anticipated. But it's been a lot of fun, and I cannot wait for some other stuff that we have coming out, and some other ideas. So continue to be innovative, and drive your partner nuts, if that's what you have to do.
That's what we always talk about too. One about driving Trav nuts, which is Trav and we started this in 26. I met Trav playing college ball, and that's how we started this off. And then Chris came along with the podcast, and Chris and I talk about it all the time about, we try to drop a podcast every week. And then we have social media that we're trying to post, 4 times a week on. And on top of our normal lives, it's like, this is our second job without, like, our second unpaid job, I guess. It's a lot of people don't realize how much you have to do to stay relevant in people's faces and stuff. And it could be very defeating at times, but just staying with it, consistent, and I hate to say it, but like bugging people almost, just to kind of, get somewhere with things. I don't know. It's not for the weak minded, that's for sure.
No, if you want it, you can get it, but you have to grind.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, Ryan, you have to grind.
I don't even know if it's a grind as much as like a passion, though.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
true.
Grind,
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost like a forced thing.
Yeah.
Like the passion of it all, like the bigger pictures that you see, the goals that you're trying to reach through that. Like I said, grind to me is more of like a.
Maybe that's the wrong word, but it's a
lot of people understand.
Working hard, yeah.
A lot of people understand that, obviously, but that's just, like I said, my opinion. But you got any questions?
No, I think that's it. I really appreciate, you coming on, Ryan, and I appreciate you serving. Anytime we have a, veteran on, like we definitely want to thank you for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
One last thing for me, and I'll let you get out of here because it's already been like 4 hours that we've been talking here. No, you said you have 24 shells in your box.
Yep.
So one of our other sponsors is Custom Ammo, and I don't know if you can grab one of those,
I can do that
and show the camera. This might be a good 25th shell for you. Custom Ammo, just hold it up to the camera.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I think I follow them on Facebook.
If you put your logo on a shell with a business card or whatever it may be as your 25th shell for a memorabilia or, you know, I don't know, kind of like a gift kind of type thing for your customers, or like that being its own business card for you guys,
That'd be cool.
might not be a bad idea.
I have to look into that.
So just a little FYI, a little shout out to Custom Ammo for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's a good
No,
one.
Yeah, I like that. I'll definitely have to do some reaching out. And this is obviously is kind of the week for it. As more ideas will start to flow. Obviously, with
Right.
a 15+ hour drive from here to Oklahoma City.
Right.
So there's definitely going to be some bouncing back and forth. But I truly like that. I guess we just have to figure out what actually would be inside that shell.
Well, so these shells are actually they're shootable shells. I mean, you could put them right in your gun and shoot them if you wanted to. It's just like he goes through Migra because it's the white shell and it really pops. Like, I don't know if you can grab that other one of our logos. Like we did one for Rob of like the military branch that he was in. Like that's our little logo on it. All of those. So I mean, there's multiple things that you could do with it. Like I said, it might be a good little business card shell type thing for people to use, and I don't know, something different. I guess maybe
we'll put some dragon's breath in there.
Yes, that would be good. That would be actually solid. And don't even tell them. Just put it in there. Just have them figure it out.
We always joked about duck hunting with that. I was like, dude, that'd be, kind of awesome. You freaking roast it before it even hit the water.
I'd hate to have your buddy shoot, though, because if you shoot a 10 gauge at a teal at 10 yards, I mean, that thing's going to be just, I don't even know what it would be, incinerated at that point. I mean, it'd be literally nothing left. That'd be tough, man. But where can people find you at, man? Like, what social medias? Where are you at?
So Instagram is just Pattern Pros, Facebook Pattern Pros USA, and then the website is patternprosusa.com. Usually respond very quickly on either one of those platforms. Typically Instagram is a little bit easier to messaging wise, and then if you scroll to the bottom of the website, my phone number is actually on there. Something that they didn't tell me originally when they created the website, so I started getting random calls. And I was like, "How'd you guys get my number?"
Spam.
Yeah. But no, I actually enjoy that because I get to talk to a lot of people from all over the country. It's been really cool to see as I do all of our shipping and talking to people. It's really starting to become nationwide. But yeah, any one of those platforms. And then for anybody who's already been to our website, hopefully by the end of the month we will have a new website, which I'm really excited for. Should be a little bit more user friendly, and should allow us to change a few things up. But
that's awesome.
So I'm pretty easily reachable, and if anybody's going to be at the Delta Waterfowl Show next weekend in Oklahoma City, come see us. We'll be at booth 385.
Awesome. Well, again, I appreciate you coming on, spending the time with us, spending the 4.5 hours now. I mean, it's what you got going is truly an awesome thing, and I feel like really should open people's eyes up on what they're sending down range. And if there's anything that we could do to help out, just let us know. You got my number. We're all in if you need us.
Yep.
And again, thank you for your service. I truly appreciate it.
Thanks, boys. I had an absolute great time.
I appreciate that for sure. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. You got anything, Chris?
No, I think I'm good.
It's your birthday tomorrow, ain't it?
No,
it's not.
Mikey's birthday. No, thank you, Ryan. We really appreciate you being on, and your company is definitely one to back.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, I appreciate everybody tuning in on this week's podcast. Ryan, thanks again, and we'll see everybody on the next one.
See ya.